Buenos dias, clase. Well, we're going to be looking at familiar to commands with reflexive verbs and with direct object pronouns. So on both of these, you're still going to be forming your familiar to commands the same way as we did in the last video. Now we're just going to be taking it up a little, taking it up to the next level. They say level up, okay? So let's look at what happens when we're using the reflexive pronouns with reflexive verbs. Now remember, reflexive verbs are verbs like to wash oneself, to bathe oneself, to brush, well, I just said that, to brush oneself, like to brush your teeth, wash your hair, whenever you're doing an action to yourself. Okay, so there's two steps. First of all, you need to go ahead and form the command like you normally would. So if you're looking at lavarse, write that here. Lavarse, go ahead and deal with this part of the verb first, just your AR normal infinitive part, and go ahead and put that in the usted form of the present tense, because that's how you form your affirmative to command. So you'll get lava. Okay, so that's your first step. So you form the command, and that would be lava. The next thing you're going to do is place the reflexive pronoun correctly. Okay, so since we're always going to be dealing here with, or in this video, with two commands, your reflexive pronoun is going to be te. Okay, so that's why I wrote that right here, te. So for affirmative commands, this is always going to attach to the end of your command. So this say right here is going to change into a te when you make your command. Okay, but let's look at our next slide and I'll show you. Okay, so here we have lavarse again. Okay, means to wash oneself. If I wanted to say wash your face, notice here it's lavate la cara. And don't forget that we don't use a possessive adjective to say your face. We just go ahead and use a definite article meaning the. So wash yourself the face is what you're saying. Anyway, so remember, look here, you have there's your affirmative command, lava, because it's an AR verb. It looks just like the third person singular, the usted form of the present tense. And then you just have to add your reflexive pronoun te to the end of it. Okay, that's how you deal with reflexive verbs. So normal, 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 just add the reflexive pronoun to the end. Now you have one more step. You have to count three vowels back to place your new accent mark. So 1, 2, 3. It's going to be right here. Lavate. So lavate la cara. Okay. In yellow here, the reflexive pronoun attaches to the end of an affirmative to command. In your accent mark, all you're going to do is count 3 vowels back. Okay. Here's some of the other examples. To say bathe, I'll put that there. Bañate, okay? So here, baña, it's an AR verb, so it's just in the usted form, which is just baña. And then here is your reflexive pronoun, te. And remember, see how we attached it to the end, and then we counted 3 back. 1, 2, 3, and we placed our accent mark. And here, to say brush, it's going to be cepillate. And you counted 3 back, and put your accent mark. Easy peasy. Okay. Now, what if we're going to use reflexive verbs in negative commands? Okay, very simple. You're going to love it. Okay, so the first thing you do is you're just going to form your normal negative to commands, just like we did last time. So remember, here's your recap. You go to the yo form of the present tense verb. You drop the o. You add the opposite ending. And when I say opposite ending, remember, if it's an AR verb, you're going to add ES. And if it's an ER, IR verb, you're going to add an AS. Okay? So you're going to add the opposite ending plus S. Okay? And then the last step is just to put no out front. Okay? That's how you make your negative to commands. Okay. Now, again, since this is a reflexive command, you have to use your reflexive pronoun. So we're going to be using te for all of these because they are two commands. Alright, so now, since we're dealing with negative commands, the te does not attach to the end. It's actually going to come before your command. Okay, so te now comes before, and then your your word no, to make your command negative, comes before te. Okay? So, for example, if I'm going to say don't bathe, it's going to be no te bañes. And notice I got bañes because I went to the yo form in the present tense of bañar, which would have been baño. Okay? Remember, you drop that O, you add the opposite ending, and since it's an AR verb, my opposite ending is going to be an E plus an S, so I got bañes. Okay, that's how I got that part. A reflexive pronoun has to come before the command because it's a negative command this time, and then your no just comes up out front. Okay, now to make good or correct negative commands, you have to know the correct yo form in the present tense of whichever verb you're dealing with. Okay, so this is just a reminder page. A lot of verbs, or some verbs, are go verbs, and that means in the yo form they end in a go, G-O. So I put some very popular ones here for you. Tener goes to tengo, hacer goes to hago, venir goes to vengo, decir changes to digo, poner goes to pongo. Okay, these are all the present tense yo forms that you need to be able to form your negative two commands correctly, because you have to start with going to the yo form and dropping the O. Okay, some of the other verbs you're going to encounter are stem changers. Okay, remember these are verbs who have a vowel that changes from an E to IE, an E to I, an O to UE, or a U to UE. Okay, so just make sure that you ask yourself, does this look like a stem changer when you're dealing with it? Okay, and you can always look it up in a dictionary and see if it is a stem changer. So an example, recomendar is actually an E to IE stem changer, and you get recomiendo is the yo form, recomiendo. Dormir is a stem changer, O to UE, and you get duermo. These are the yo forms. Okay, this will not take too long. These are when you're going to attach direct object pronouns to the end of your command. So you're going to be saying things like eat it, make it, buy it, sell it, those kind of things. And the direct object pronouns are always going to attach to the end of your command, okay? And then you're going to have to remember to count 3 vowels back and add your new accent mark, just like when we were dealing with reflexive pronouns. Okay, so let's look at some examples, okay? So, for affirmative commands with direct object pronouns, just form your command the same way that you always have been. So, cook the meal, okay? So, cook, that comes from the verb cocinar, so you get cocina, cocina. I'm talking about the meal, and the meal in Spanish is la comida, la comida. So, the direct object pronoun, remember that replaces comida. It has to be singular, and it has to be feminine, because comida is singular, and it's feminine. See, it ends in an A, and there's no S. That means, up here, here's all your DOPs, your direct object pronouns, right here in this blue cloud. Which one is singular and feminine? Well, it's right here, and that is how you say it. Okay, so if I want to say cook it, you have to attach la to the end of your command. So you're going to get cocina la. I'm right here. Cocina la. So here's your la, and you've attached it. So you need to count 3 vowels back. 1, 2, 3, and there's your accent mark. And that means cook it. Cook it. Now if I'm talking about an uva, which is a grape, and I want to say eat it, since uva is singular and feminine, la is going to be my direct object pronoun I'm going to use to represent it. So I'm going to say eat it. So again, I put la at the end here. And I say comela, comela, okay? And that's where your accent mark goes. How about if I wanted to say buy it? We're still talking about uva, the grape. Well, to buy is comprar, so you get comprala, comprala. Well, I didn't put my accent mark, so 1, 2, 3, comprala. Okay, buy it. Okay, real quick, last thing. If you're making a negative command with a direct object pronoun, the main thing you have to remember is, well, first of all, you have to form your negative command correctly, okay? So either memorize the irregulars or go to the yo form, drop the O, add the opposite ending plus S, okay? And then put a no out front. Okay, once you've mastered that, your direct object pronoun is going to go before your command, okay? Not after it, before it. Okay, so if I want to say don't eat it, I'm talking about the grape again, and comer means to eat. Okay, so my command would be no la comas. Remember, on negative to commands, the direct object pronoun would come before the negative command. Okay? So let's look at a few more examples and then we're all done. Okay, so don't read it. I'm talking about the book. It would be no lo leas. Don't call us. No nos llames. Don't touch it. Talking about the fire. No lo toques. Now look here. Toques came from tocar. Okay, it's a cargar zar verb. So down here, I'm reminding you, if a verb ends in cargar or zar, these are the spelling changes you have to make before adding s when you're making your commands, your negative commands, okay? So be careful of that. Something else to remember. So anyway, review this as many times as you need to, take your notes, and then go over to your lesson assignment and see what I have for you there. And email me with any questions. Have a good afternoon. Hasta luego.